Hello student, I am Mishra with you to discuss chapter 11. Hope you have to enjoy this session. In this session, I will discuss some difficult problems of the exercise 11.3, and you have to not only enjoy this session but also it is very fruitful for you to learn the how to solve the question. My dear student, in this question it has been given that D and E are the points on the side AB and AC respectively, and it is also given in the question that DE is parallel to BC. Then you have to name of this quadrilateral. Actually, this quadrilateral, you know very well that if you have to take D, E, B and C, this one is the parallel of this one, and you know very well that the quadrilateral whose one pair of opposite sides are parallel, that is known as trapezium. So actually this quadrilateral BCED is a trapezium. That is the best answer. So you have to write in solution quadrilateral BCED is a trapezium. My dear student, in this question, it has been given that identify the quadrilateral that have four sides of equal length, and you know that any quadrilateral whose all four sides are equal, the quadrilateral is known as rhombus. So actually answer of the first question is rhombus, and second has been given that four right angles, and you know that the quadrilateral whose all angles is 90 degree, four right angles, then it will be either a square or second option is rectangle, because you know that rectangle also has four right angles. If you have just mix of both of them, all four sides are equal and each angle is 90 degree, then you know very well that all four angles is 90 degree and all sides are equal, then there is only one chances, and that is a square. And this is why the best answer for the four sides equal in length is the rhombus, and four right angles, a square or rectangle, you may use. My dear student, name the quadrilateral whose diagonals bisect each other. Actually this question belongs from NCERT, and you can just see that bisect each other, and you know that in case of parallelogram, and you know that diagonal bisect. So first its answer is parallelogram, solution of the first. Second, you may use a rectangle, because in case of rectangle also it's bisect by the property you know very well. So second option you may use a rectangle, because it is also applicable for rectangle. Then you can use rhombus. You know that in the case of rhombus, it is also, its diagonal also bisect each other. So third options may rhombus, and fourth may you use square, because a square, in the case of a square, its diagonal also bisect each other. So it's one of the answer will be a square. So all four answer you can give for the first one: parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus and a square, because in all the cases its diagonal bisect each other. The second one is name the quadrilateral whose diagonals are perpendicular bisector of each other. Perpendicular bisector. You know that in this case, perpendicular bisector, two options you can use: rhombus and a square. Because in the case of rhombus and a square, not only it bisect but also it forms 90 degree. And this is why the solution of the second one is two of them. First is rhombus and second you may use a square, because rhombus and a square both having the diagonals bisect each other at 90 degree, means perpendicular bisect. The solution of the third one is the diagonals are equal, and diagonals are equal, you know that two cases are: one, you may use a rectangle, because in this case diagonals are not only bisect each other but also equal. So one option you may take a rectangle and second you may take a square, and this is why its solution is: first one is rectangle and second one you may use a square. So that is the solution of this question. My dear student, in the next question, my dear student, the solution of this question: explain how a square is a quadrilateral. You know that a square is a quadrilateral because it is bounded by four line segment. It is bounded by four line segment, and it is also simple closed figure, and such figure must be a quadrilateral. Second one is it is a parallelogram, and you can just mention two regions because its all angles is equal to 90 degree. This is the first region, and second region is that opposite sides of a square are parallel, and you know that those quadrilateral whose opposite sides are parallel must be a parallelogram. The third one is a square is a rhombus also, because by the definition of rhombus you know that all sides are equal. The quadrilateral whose all sides are equal must be rhombus, and you know that a square whose all sides are equal, so it is known as rhombus. Regarding rectangle, you can mention two regions. First one that it is a parallelogram, and second one its all angles is equal to 90 degree. And you know that the parallelogram whose all angles are 90 degree must be a rectangle, and this is why a square is also a rectangle. Dear student, in the fifth question it has been given that explain why a rectangle is a convex quadrilateral. My dear, you know that by the definition of convex quadrilateral, the quadrilateral which is known as convex if its all diagonals are inside it. And you know that in the case of rectangle, both the diagonals, because a rectangle has two diagonals and both the diagonals are inside the quadrilateral or inside the rectangle, and this is why it is known as convex quadrilateral. Regarding the question number 6, and it has been given that can a quadrilateral ABCD be a parallelogram? Parallelogram, you know that whose opposite sides are parallel, then it is known as parallelogram. And it has been first condition has been given that D plus B is equal to 180 degree, and you have to explain that on this condition only can you guess that it is a parallelogram. Its answer is maybe, and maybe it is due to that you know that quadrilateral whose opposite angles may be B plus D is equal to 180 degree, no doubt. But you know that rhombus, in the case of rhombus, you know very well that rhombus whose opposite sides some of its opposite sides may be equal to 180 degree, and it may not be parallelogram, because rhombus's you know that a square is also a rhombus and it is also a parallelogram, but it is not necessary that in all the rhombuses, in all the cases of rhombuses, that it is a type of parallelogram. So this is not sufficient condition to define a parallelogram. So its answer is maybe. In the second and third, there are no chances to be parallelogram. It is due to that you just check the what has been given, that AB is equal to DC, means 8 centimeter. Suppose that it is a parallelogram, then AB, or I have just draw another figure, ABCD. Suppose that it is a parallelogram. And what is given in the condition? AB is equal to 8 centimeter. DC has been given, DC 8 centimeter. AD has been given 4 centimeter. And BC has been given 4.4 centimeter. And you know that in case of parallelogram, opposite sides cannot be different. And this is why there is no chance to be parallelogram with this condition, because AD and BC are not equal. And this is why you have to just write down. Next one is angle A is 70 and C is 65 degree. You just see that A and C are opposite angles. And in case of parallelogram, you know very well that opposite angles of a parallelogram must be equal. And this is why there is no chance be different. And you can just see that A does not equal to angle C, and this is why there is no chance to be a parallelogram. Regarding the solution of this question, because in this question it has been given that find out the value of x, y, z, and ABCD is a parallelogram has been given. And you can just see in this figure that this is x and this is 100, and you know that sum of the adjacent angles of a parallelogram is equal to 180 degree. This is why angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degree. That means x plus 100 is equal to 180 degree, and the value of x is equal to 80 degree. And you also know that opposite angles of a parallelograms are equal, and this is why y is equal to 100 and z is equal to x, and the value of x is already 80 degree. So final calculation is x is equal to 80 degree, y is 100 degree, and z is equal to 80 degree. My dear student, in the given parallelogram, you need to find out the value of x, y and z. And you know that sum of the adjacent angles of a parallelogram is equal to 180 degree. And this is why x plus 50 is equal to 180 degree. And the value of x is equal to 180 minus 50, and it is equal to 130 degree. And you also know that x and y and x and z, there is a relation. X and z, you know that this is a corresponding angles, and this is why due to corresponding angles, z is equal to x is equal to 130 degree. Whatever the relation between x and y is just opposite angles, and you know that opposite angles of a parallelograms are equal, and this is why y is also equal to x, and this is why all the angles x, y and z all are equals, and it is equal to 130 degree. My dear student, in the given question you need to find out the value of x, y, z. And my dear student, you can just see that due to vertical opposite angle, x is equal to 90 degree, and in this is a triangle, and x is equal to 90 degree, this one is 30 degree, and the value of y you can just calculate, because angle sum property that sum of all angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degree, and after that you have to just show the relation that it is z is equal to y due to alternate interior angles. And let's check. My dear student, you can just see that in the following figure x is equal to 90 degree. I have just mentioned that due to vertically opposite angles x is equal to 90 degree, and due to angle sum property of triangle, because you know that this is a triangle, and this is why you can apply the angle sum property, and sum of all three angles is equal to 180 degree. So x plus y plus 30 is equal to 180 degree, and the value of x is 90 degree, and this is why you do the calculation and you get y is equal to 60 degree. My dear student, one more things you have to just pay attention, that in this quadrilateral, diagonals bisect at 90 degree, and when diagonal bisect at 90 degree, then the given quadrilateral must be square or any sort of parallelogram or rhombus and others. And this is why you may apply the formula of parallelograms, and this is why due to alternate interior angles, z is equal to y, and this one, because if it is parallel to this, then y is equal to z due to alternate interior angles, and you can just prove that z is equal to y is equal to 60 degree.